morning, Santa Clara.
Good morning.
I'm Nick Szabo, and I'm going to talk about smart contracts in historical context. Once we get the slides up and going. Okay, here we go. So we can think of architecture as in layers. You have a foundation or a foundational layer. On that you build a structure. On that structure you can have drywall, and on that you can have windows, paint, shingles, etc. So, and similarly you can think of society as built on layers. And the layer that's most visible, like the shingles and the windows and the paint that we deal with most often, our business, our deals, and so on. And somewhat less visible underneath that, a set of rules, or what we commonly think of as a legal layer. And then what foundational is a security layer. So I'm going to start with a security layer, and I'm going to go back in time and talk about a security layer that comes before paper that we've forgotten about. And then I'll jump to today's security layer, which is mixed, and I'll talk about. And one of those, of course, being blockchain. And then I'll talk about smart contracts, which sit on top of the blockchain layer. So the security, without security, there's no law or commerce. And by secure, I mean trust minimized, vulnerability minimized. A feature is more secure, it is less vulnerable to insiders and counterparties and third parties. And this reasoning can be applied to any feature of your product, not just a particular door accessing a particular functionality, but really any feature of your product you can think of as more or less secure, and in many cases desirable to make it more secure. In other words, less vulnerable to the actions of other people. And so I'm going to jump way back. Today we live in the age of bits and computers. Prior generations lived in an age of paper, wrote things down, and before that, long ago, there was an age of clay. So the kind of basic security protocol they had was a commercial security protocol. And of course, security is also things like police officers and soldiers and so forth. But I'm going to talk about what commerce itself does, which today commerce has the potential to be very self-sufficiently secure thanks to blockchain and cryptographic technology. But this is also a security protocol that's ancient. So if you had a jar or basket and then you had a plug on that and you could shape some clay around that to seal it up, you would then roll your seal over that and create a unique impression, kind of like a signature, recognizable unique pattern. Leave that to dry, and then now the seal must be broken under the proper conditions, the proper witnesses, a proper ceremony. And since these cultures mixed their religion with their business, you could get divine retribution if there was some fraud or error and the seal was broken improperly. Now to jump back today to the age of digital, we have this huge computational surplus. The brains of accountants and lawyers and so forth have not been growing in size. They've kept steady. But computational costs, CPU costs, memory costs, to some extent network costs have been going down and down exponentially. This being a logarithmic graph. And so what we wanted to do back in the 90s when we were first thinking about blockchain-like technology and cryptocurrencies and smart contracts was we wanted to apply computer science in this great surplus to increase security of various desirable features and really solve ambitious problems that hadn't been solved before, such as how to privatize money and make it secure, independent of government, as well as being privately operated, and non-violently protect property and enforce, and by enforce I'm really talking broadly here about incentivizing the performance of contracts. And so that's where the ideas of smart contracts and blockchains and cryptocurrencies come out of this kind of ambitious thinking. And in particular, blockchains, the schematic, you can think of a blockchain as a bunch of robots with green eye shades checking each other's work very tediously. And because of this, some of the functionality done by accountants and law enforcement officials and lawyers and so forth, that is kind of the current security layer of society, can be moved for some digital functions and financial functions to a blockchain and be made more self-sufficient, more trust minimized. And so I'm going to pop up a layer more. So that was talking about the security layer again. Now I'm going to pop up a layer more and talk about the layer of rules, which we tend to think of as a legal layer, but it's kind of probably better now to think of it as a layer of rules. And I'm particularly going to talk about contract law, the law of deals, or the rules we use in deals to incentivize performance, or and also to specify what we want performed. So you can think of this as lying at the heart of our society, or at least the heart of commerce, and the heart of doing deals. And in a sense, you're writing your own laws when you're writing your own contract. And so we do this in order to